Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be replacing the fan clutch in our 2004 Dodge Ram 3500. Let's go take a look at some of the tools we're going to need. So we're going to start with the fan clutch wrenches. So the fan clutch is going to be a 36 millimeter wrench. These came from O'Reilly's. The part number is 67063. And the other tool that we're going to be using to get the fan clutch off is this pulley holder. So this is going to help us hold the pulley while we're trying to turn this wrench to get the fan clutch loose. I've never actually used one of these, so we'll see how this goes. You're going to need a 1/2 inch socket to take off the fan shroud nuts, and also a 10 millimeter to take off the wiring bracket for the fan clutch. Here is our new fan clutch. This came from Rock Auto. A lot cheaper on Rock Auto versus O'Reilly's or AutoZone or most other places online. This ran about 130, I want to say, versus O'Reilly's was 221, I think. But there is two different fan clutches, so there's an early 2004 model and then a late 2004 model. Make sure if you have a late 2004 that you get the right fan clutch. So we're gonna get started. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is take this fan shroud loose, and to do that, there's 4 bolts on the fan shroud. There's 2 up top here, the other one's over here, and then there's 2 down below, which we'll show you in just a second. But we're gonna be working under the vehicle, so safety first. Make sure you have your safety glasses on. Let's go down underneath there. All right, and so here's the 2 lower fan shroud nuts.
He said nuts.
Yes, the lower nuts. Now, here is your fan clutch wiring. So this is gonna be your connector here, just a little tab to press, and just go ahead and unplug that. And as you can see here, this is where your wire runs across the fan shroud to the fan clutch. It goes up here, if you didn't know. And then so to get your wiring, what would you call it? I guess a harness disconnected here, you want to make sure you take out this 10 millimeter bolt, and that'll allow this wiring to be freed. So we're going to go ahead and start taking off these. These are a 1/2 inch socket will do. Gonna have to use a short socket, it looks like. So let's get started. Our weight gain.
Oh Jesus!
You want them to see your weight gain?
No.
I'm sure everybody gains a little weight over time, I would hope. Hopefully it's not just us. If they say they haven't gained any weight, then they're lying.
I think it's a failure to
And in case you didn't know, we are actually working on a 5.9 liter Cummins turbo diesel, in case you didn't know. And as you can see, one of the telltale giveaways is got a leak, naturally. Plenty of them to go around. And so what I'm doing here is taking off the wiring bolt that holds on this bracket, or whatever the hell this thing's called. Okay, we'll come back to that. So to get these fan shroud bolts, or nuts, sorry, to get the nuts loose, we had to use a wrench because there's not enough clearance to take them off. I've already broke them loose, so go ahead and take those off.
Looks like you're twisting something.
Wow. What would I be twisting?
Don't worry about it.
Shit. Okay, now we got to go up top and twist some more. And the reason we're replacing this fan clutch, did you see this connector right here? What we have here is failure to communicate. Ha! Alright, you can set it.
You know what work taught me, Thomas?
What?
That diesel fuel is not a very good coolant. Yeah, you heard me.
So, what we got to do now is manipulate this fan shroud out of here without breaking the fan. And for some reason I'm too short, unlike this guy, so I got to get my crate. My milk crate.
He said crate.
Hey William, I can't reach that in the back actually. Could you? What are friends for?
There you go.
Can you lower it? Can you lower it? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Hey, appreciate that. Watch the tow mirror now. You don't want to hit your head. I know it's not folded out because we're not towing anything, but watch your head. You don't want to hit it on the tow mirror. All right, back to this. So, like I said, you got to be careful. You don't want to break anything, and which if you haven't seen any of our other videos, we're pretty damn good at breaking stuff here. Huh. Alright, so something that kind of helps is to rotate the fan a little bit. Oh shit.
What happened?
Fall. Ta-da. Just gonna lay this over here. So, this is our fan and fan clutch here. I'll try and show you guys. So there's the front of the fan clutch right here. This is the back. That is the nut that we're going to be gripping onto with our wrench. So, give me just a minute. Alright, so we just broke it loose, and how we did that was put your wrench down on here. If you can see, I don't know, let's try and get you a good picture.
Okay, I can't take this video serious with the squeaky toy in the background.
Anyway, continuing. Well, shit, there went our wrench. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm using our cameraman for other additional purposes, so it's going to increase his pay a little bit. A whole 20 cents.
Wait, we're getting paid?
No, you're not. So anyway, what we did here is he held this on to keep the pulley from turning while I tapped the end of the wrench with a hammer. We did break it loose finally. And then you can literally just spin it off. Just be careful because there is some weight to it. It's kind of heavy, so you don't want to drop it down there because these fan blades are just plastic, and it's old anyway, so it's probably a little bit brittle. Like that. Alright. So, now we're going to take this over to the back of the truck here, do some work. Shit out of my way, William.
That's me.
It's so hot. Okay. Pretty sure these bolts are a 1/2 inch. They are. What do you know? I'm right.
Well, that's a first. You know, it really sucks not having a garage because you gotta have your entire garage in your toolbox. It's kind of difficult. But we make do with what we have. That's what Curbside Mechanics is all about. So what we're going to do here is there's 6 bolts that we're going to take loose here with a 1/2 inch socket. I'm going to need the cameraman for this one too. So we're going to pause for a minute and break these loose. Alright, so as you can see, we broke them loose. It wasn't hard. They weren't that tight, to be honest. So, do this. So we're going to get our new one. Unboxing, everyone.
Yeah.
Wow, brand new fan clutch. So now this probably add 1,000 horse to this here Cummins Dodge. Just kidding, it's not gonna add any horse. You know what, better yet, being my luck, it'll probably take away some horsepower. So I just want to make sure that these are in fact the same, and they are. So we are just going to flip this over, get this one out of the way, get our stuff lined up for our bolts. Voila, here we go. Top one in, the bottom one in. I would tighten these in a star pattern just to be safe. You don't want to get it on there crooked. This job is actually turning out to be a lot easier than I expected. Most jobs here do not go quite this easy.
That's definitely a first for the channel.
Yeah, definitely first for the channel and myself. Don't usually have that good of luck when working on things, it seems. Something always breaks, which is why we came up with the slogan we did, one broken bolt at a time. Also, don't forget to check out our Instagram page, Facebook page at Curbside Mechanics. Anyway, back to this. Oh shoot.
Watch it.
Watch out for those tow mirrors now. I'm telling you what, they'll get you. I can't imagine them having folded out. Just can't imagine that. Being my luck, I'd whack my head on it and I'd knock myself out, and then I'd be down here on the curb with the vehicle half taken apart, and the cameraman just sitting there cameraing me, posting embarrassing footage on Facebook, Instagram. He'd be tagging me in it. But on a serious note here, we're just gonna thread this back onto the pulley if I can get it started. Well, now let me just tell you something. It helps if you go the right direction.
Oh boy.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty does apply for this project. Now we're just having fun. Alright, so it looks like it won't spin anymore, so we're going to grab that wrench, 36 millimeter, in case you didn't catch that earlier. Hang on just a second. Let's go to this side over here. I don't think it has to be super tight, just tight. That's about as tight as I'm going to get it, to be honest with you. So we'll see when we start it up, and if it flies off, then we'll know we didn't get it tight enough. We're going to let William stand out here and film it, though. I'll be safe in the vehicle.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Alright, let's start putting things back together. You know, all the videos that I've seen on YouTube about this in particular, they don't really show exactly how to do this, which is nothing worse than a video that tells you about it but doesn't show anything. So I want to make sure that we go ahead and include the put back together, the reassembly steps. So i.e. putting the fan shroud back on and the bracket for the wires down below. So we're gonna grab our fan shroud and go ahead and do that, but we'll be right back. Again, want to be careful not to break your fan blades, or something else that you don't want to do is you don't want to mess up the fins on your radiator or cut your hand. That is also a big deal. It hurts. Trust me, I know I've done it. We're going to go down below, make sure nothing's binded up, make sure that nothing's in our way, restricting us. Okay, again, make sure you have your safety glasses on. You don't want anything to fall in your eye or eyes. So, I'm going to put our bracket back on our fan shroud. This is very important because the wires and the fan do not mix well together. Don't have much clearance. I'll show you in just a second on how much clearance that you actually have between your fan blades and the wires themselves. It's a wonderful design, if you ask me.
Because it's a Dodge. All things designed by Dodge are wonderful.
Oh. Yeah, you hear that, Jake? As I'm struggling to get this bolt in. There it is. Typically your hands shouldn't be this dirty, but as I mentioned before, always about the oil leaks. Gosh, it's such a long-winded bolt. Okay, that's plenty tight. So I'm going to borrow the camera here for just a minute. So you can see these are our wires right here. And watch how close the fan goes. Pretty close. I'd say probably less than 1/4 of an inch. Very close. That is why you want to make sure that you get this fan shroud back in the right place and you get this wiring secured properly. So I'm going to go ahead and plug our connector back in here. Here, click. Now we're going to put our nuts back on.
He said it again.
From what I understand and read, this is a very common issue in the Dodges. I don't know about the 6.7 liter Cummins, but I do know that is a very common issue. In my 2006 had the same issue with the fan clutch through the same code on the soft code. Sometimes it would throw it and then sometimes it wouldn't, but if you go to our Instagram page, trust me, you'll see that this fan clutch was definitely bad. I could stop it with my hand while it was running, which I don't recommend doing. Could cause bodily harm, which no one here wants. Also, while we're tightening these nuts, make sure you go and subscribe to our channel. Link down in the description. Alright, I think we're all good here. Down below, just check this, make sure we got it tight, good. Plugged our connector back in, make sure it was in the fan shroud properly, make sure our fan blades are not touching the wires whatsoever. So let's go back up top here and get the rest of our work done. Okay, go ahead.
I have been.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, now that we're rolling, so we got the top fan shroud nuts here put on, secured, tight, fan, clutch, fan, all that's good. Make sure we got all of our tools out of the engine compartment. If you will, William, come on over here to this side. I just wanted to mention this to anyone who's watching. You see right down here, this is our manifold, and as you can see the turbo down in there. In case you didn't know, this is the turbo here. Thinking about, well, I'm not thinking about, I am definitely going to, I just don't know when. I've talked about this project for a long time, but something I want to do is I'm going to change the location of the turbo. So instead of it being down here between the 4th and 5th cylinder, it looks like, we are going to take it and put it into the center of the engine block. It's going to be sitting about right here. It sits up quite a bit higher, so we're going to have to change the air intake, change the hot pipe down below. Obviously it's going to have an aftermarket manifold, aftermarket turbo. Something though in the meantime that I've been thinking about doing is removing the exhaust brake. As you can see right here, it has the Banks exhaust brake on it, and I personally don't like it. But anyway, back to the project. If you guys have any experience in doing the project and you wanted to share anything, go ahead and leave it in the comments section down below. But other than that, that's about all. It's going to wrap up this job. We're just going to put away our tools and clean everything, and then we're going to take the tools back to O'Reilly's. So if you have any questions or any concerns of any sort, or if you have any information about the project I just spoke of, then leave it down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, thank you. Why didn't you tell me I had black shit on my face? Don't tell me it's because you thought it was already there.
It builds character.
Oh. You thought it came standard with this model.
Watch your step.